Dear God and guiding spirits, angels of light and love, guide me on my path to my highest good. I invite divine consciousness to join me here and all my guides and spirits, all beings of love and light who can help me explore the concept of the 12 universal laws. And today I specifically request for assistance in exploring the first divine law, being the law of divine oneness. I'm going to start this reading using my spirit calling cards, asking for a general message to start me on this journey. What I do with the spirit calling cards is I pull 5 with my left hand, which is the hand of the subconscious, and quickly make a sentence out of them before I get the left brain involved there. So let my intuition guide me. I've asked for general guidance in the law of divine oneness. And may whatever I get in this reading not only help me, but all those who are indeed interconnected, which is the first law. The cards I'm getting are memories, trust, stretch, now, imagine. And I'm getting, imagine the memories stretching into a trust of now. I'm just checking into my body, seeing how that feels. And I'm getting a no. I'm going to change it to stretch your imagination, to remember. Trust now. Stretch your imagination and trust the memories now. And that's getting a very high vibration within my body, excitement and chills down my spine, and so I'm reading that this is indeed the message that was meant for me. So stretch your imagination and trust the memories now. It makes sense because for me, the whole idea of imagination, when I close my eyes and I start getting an intuitive reading, it comes very much in visual imagery, which some would call imagination. These images, where do they come from? And to me, I believe that they do come from that web of interconnected oneness to divine conscious and to probably everything and everyone that is. We're all connected to it. It's the same principle as when you have, I see a movie, or like when Knight Rider came out and had Kit, that car that was the exact same one that I had been visualizing in my fantasies as a child. And it was kind of like, hey, that was my idea. And that's happened a few times in my life. Reading a book with the chapters exactly of a book I had planned on writing one day. And it's not that people are stealing ideas. We're all tapping into this web of consciousness. And bringing that imagery in, the way intuition works is that you basically get symbolism. You get access when you tap into something that is greater than yourself. Yourself being, the limited body that is just a particle of what we actually are on this planet in this time. I believe that when the symbols start coming in the imagery, as you'll start seeing soon when I close my eyes and get into sort of the mini movies that come to me, these images are just the symbols. And intuition has 2 parts. 1 is the messages, the symbolism, and 2 is the interpretation of it. So I might actually come up with symbolism here that speaks to you in a completely different way than it speaks to me. And that's what's wonderful. And when I do intuitive readings for others, it's a collaboration. They have a very active role in understanding what the messages are for them. Because the best interpreter I mean, I can certainly attempt to interpret the messages for everyone, but that is not my role. I think the best interpreter of any intuitive messages is ourself. When we connect to our higher self, we know what those messages are. And they come in different ways for many people. And so what I'm asking for today, this is very different for me in the way I'm doing it, is I'm asking for an intuitive reading that's going to stretch my imagination, stretch the way I use my imagined symbolism, or what I call intuition. In this case, the word imagine in my cards is stretched to mean the actual intuitive messages that come in. And I need to trust the memories that I'm going to receive now. And this is not just talking my own memories. I think what I'm seeing is a spider web. I'm seeing this web of interconnected and remembering all that is. And this is linked to the concept of what's coming to mind now is something I read earlier about the law of divine oneness. And it's about the concept used in native belief systems about all our relations. All our relations being not only that of our ancestors, but also that of the standing people, the trees, the vegetables, the plants, and the 2- and 4-legged people, concepts that I've become very familiar with through shamanism work in the last decade at least. And so I think I'm going to begin now and just close my eyes, focus a little bit. If ever I'm silent, is I'm tapping into the imagery. What would you like me to see? What would you like me to understand? How would you like me to convey on this painting, this first of the Enter the Mandela project, on the law of divine oneness? So the story begins on a train, and this train is indeed traveling on a spider web type of formation. And as it's going, the spider web in this beautiful spiral, which has always been a very powerful symbol for me. I'm seeing, this is coming out very much like a cartoon type of movie here. Out of all the windows are all these characters from human beings, and there's a giraffe, and there's a hippopotamus, and there's brightly colored children and adults, and there's a bunch of carrots, and there's all sorts of different beings. But not only that, the train itself is part of that interconnected energy. Everything in this little scene that I'm following is part of the energy. It is all what we interpret through our human senses as different and individual objects, but they are all made of the same. Whether we go into science or spirituality here, how all matter is made of the same particles, and everything is in movement. I think this is what the train is symbolizing. Everything is connected, just like the cars of the train. Everything is in movement, moving forwards. There's a very, very happy sort of childlike movie energy going on in this picture. And as the train advances, it's going through a forest. And in that forest, the forest is like the dark tunnels that the trains go through. There's suddenly a deep calmness in my body. The color has all gone dark. It's just calmness, space, nothingness, everythingness. Like being underwater. There's been a huge shift in my body. And now it's swimming. I find myself as a mermaid swimming through the waters. And on the bottom of the ocean is piles of treasures. Sort of the lost pirate ship treasures, the big chests full of gold and pearl necklaces, and they're now all morphing. As I watch them, they are morphing into different forms and creatures, starfish, all these mathematical symbols that I wouldn't be able to interpret if I tried. And as I'm swimming in this calm ocean, the darkness into which the tunnel has moved into, it's like going in a much deeper level, going deeper. And as I dive even deeper into the dark waters, they are suddenly becoming light. The treasures are gone. Everything is gone, and now it's just this turquoisey purple light. And indeed, I am no longer in the water. It is now the sky and the puffy clouds, or more like wispy clouds, and I'm soaring through the sky like a bird, traveling. And yet there's not a sensation of flapping into the wind, nor is there being in the water. It's just this beingness. I see the images moving. I see the being, the bird, the creature, floating through the sky. Yes, I think that's the word, is floating. The divine oneness. The law of divine oneness. How in that one being that has transformed into objects and symbols and creatures and human and other forms, there is very much a sense that it is all there and that it is all not there. Words make these things hard to explain sometimes. But imagine this wide expanse where everything, that's it, it's the world of limitless possibilities. Infinite possibilities, and this is indeed a concept that I remember reading about in the Law of Divine Oneness. Where in this blank canvas, where wisps of color and ethereal qualities lie, anything and everything can manifest in and out of each other, and that's what's starting to happen. I've got these bubbles becoming objects. I've got, broccoli coming out of a fish, and it then becoming a pair of glasses, and then becoming the giraffe is back again, and then becoming a whole village. And I'm brought to a village in Africa right now. It's just everything is popping into and out of existence everywhere I look, all around me. And as I put the wings up above my head, just sort of as a hands up above my head, the way that I really like to in one of the poses in yoga, and the wings sort of collapse or become arms again, and I shoot down to the earth, basically. Like if I was going down this tunnel, but this time going from up in the expanses of the universe and down onto the planet. It's reminding me of those little creatures in the sand in the sea. In French we call them couteaux. I don't know what they're called in English. And there I am in the sand, evolving, breathing, being, growing, and now I see myself as a tree. Roots extended deep into the ground and branches reaching high into the heavens. And within these branches, filled with fruit of all kind, and I am talking animals and human beings and objects and fruits and vegetables, and everything seems to be in this tree, just like the tree of life. Everything is connected. The roots becoming yet again webs of energy below the earth, the branches connecting above. And it all vanishes yet again. into that wispy, turquoisey, pale purples and blues and light. I have no form. I am back to infinite possibility. Everything is one. Everything gets created from that one. And what happens to one affects everything else. What happens to one affects everything else. Thank you. Namaste.